Cardinals are two of baseball's oldest franchises, rich in history and each with great players that provided memorable moments to last a lifetime. 18 World Championships between these two organizations, including 2 each in the last 8 years. Two teams who are looking for a return trip to the playoffs meet as it's the Giants and Cardinals next.
The road trip begins tonight. You're looking at Busch Stadium. It'll be the Giants and Cardinals, and this is game 1 of a 4-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, the Giants are the nice 5-1 homestand. They're 15-10 on the road. So, how do they get it going in this road trip? They'll get it going with Ryan Vogelsong.
Well, and he's red hot. I mean, he's been as hot as anybody in all of baseball. 13 2/3 scoreless innings, but he's just one good outing after another. The Giants as a staff have 20 consecutive zeros that they've thrown on the board. But I think the key for the Giants in this series may be the long ball. I mean, that is what really separates them from the Cardinals. The Cardinals haven't got it going yet. The Giants do have the long ball going. But it's here at Busch Stadium. All we know is it's going to be hard-fought, and it's going to be good baseball. Can't wait to get it started.
4-game series, Cardinals and Giants. All right, when we come back, we're going to take a look. Speaking of the long ball, speaking of just hitting everything, it's Pablo Sandoval. He is hot. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at what Mr. Sandoval is doing, and we'll do that right after this.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, you can see we're in St. Louis. That is the Arch. As we get ready for baseball, Giants Cardinals. This is a 4-game series, and this is game 1.
All right, time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. Pablo Sandoval yesterday against the Cubs. Well, he did it with his glove. First of all, great defensive play with 2 on in the first inning. Robbed Starlin Castro. And the Giants have put up a 0 in that inning thanks to that great defensive play. Tim Lincecum was digging it. And then later on in the 6th inning, breaks up a scoreless tie with a base hit up the middle. It would score a run and extend his RBI streak to 8 straight games. And that is our Togo's big play the Togo's way.
He's hot, and he is in the lineup tonight, hitting 3rd. He's the first Giant to record RBIs in 8 straight games since 2003, and it was our old friend JT Snow who did it back then. All right, stay tuned. We will take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update, and we'll do that right after these messages. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 82 degrees here at Busch Stadium. Winds are light, humidity at 54%, and it is partly cloudy. All right, let's take a look at the Giants lineup, and it's brought to you by Coors Light. It'll be Pagan in the leadoff spot, followed by Pence, and then the red-hot Pablo Sandoval, and those numbers tell you why. Morris, he'll hit in the cleanup spot, then Sanchez, Hicks, and Crawford. Blanco gets a start against the lefty, and Vogelsong will pitch in bat ninth.
On the hill tonight for St. Louis will be the left-hander Jaime Garcia. Garcia, 6'2", 215-pounder, in his 6th year at the big league level. And this is what he has done. Had a late start, had some problems with his shoulder in spring, and he's now making his 3rd start. 12 strikeouts against no walks, so early on he definitely has his command. And when you take your at-bats against him, you're going to see a good sinking fastball. That is his bread and butter. He'll see a lot of ground balls. He'll also cut the fastball. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup to go with it. And when he's on, I mean, he's going to throw everything at you. But if he gets his back against the wall, he has to make a pitch. He normally comes at you with that sinker. It's a good one. Let's take a look at the Cardinals' defense. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it'll be Holiday, Borges, and Jay. That's your outfield. Peralta and Carpenter will control the left side of the infield. Wong and Craig on the right side, and Yadi and Molina will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
And Garcia only making his 3rd start of the year.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys to the game. And number 1, out long ball him. If you take a look at the numbers, the St. Louis Cardinals have hit only 28 home runs. The Giants have hit 60. So, hey, keep doing it. Number 2, break out the running game. One thing with Garcia, the sinker baller, he's going to throw a lot of ground balls. And if you get a runner in base, you'll see Bruce Bochy turn the rabbits loose. And that may be one big key in this game. And those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Giants coming off a 5-1 homestand. And the Cardinals are coming off a series against the Yankees, where the Yankees took 2 out of 3. First pitch of the game is hit to Peralta, and Peralta to Craig, and that's how this game gets started.
See a lot of ground balls. Garcia's right.
So here's Pence. So we get started at 7:16. And here's Pence hitting .290. And he takes a strike. He's got decent numbers against Garcia. He's 5 for 17, a double, triple, and a home run. And a half swing and a foul back, nothing in 2. Mike Everett is doing the honors behind home plate. Culpa, Patillo, and Barrett from 1st to 3rd.
Now Mike Everett's a good pitcher's umpire. He'll give some width on the outside part of the plate to righties.
Molina coming back, but it's going to be out of play. A couple of rows.
Mike Everett likes the low pitch, and his corners can be soft at times, which means that sometimes during the course of a ball game you get a little width on both sides of the plate. Sometimes you don't. If you do get width, it's usually away to righties, but it is a good zone to pitch to.
And that's fouled with the backstop.
I mentioned the kind of pitcher that Jaime Garcia is. He's a ground ball guy, and the Cardinals have a good defense. They've only made 26 errors this year, and that ranks them 2nd in the National League.
So it's 0-2. And that's pulled foul.
Look out, Tim Flannery. Some ball dudes, they get gloves. Other ball dudes, they don't. Watch Tim Flannery. This ball gets hooked. And this is the gloveless ball dude. Has not quite earned the right to hold a glove.
Low, 1-2.
Really looking right over the top of the pitcher's shoulder. You get a chance to see the movement of Jaime Garcia's fastball. You can see the sink and run that it has away from righties. Very effective down around the knees.
And Pence is out. 2 down. And here's Sandoval. Pablo Sandoval at 246, 7 home runs, 24 driven in. And that'll end the inning. After 1/2 inning, 0-0. And the lineup that Vogelsong will be facing, it'll be Carpenter, Wong, and then Holiday. Holiday, 24 straight home games he's reached. It'll be Craig, Molina, and Peralta, followed by Jay, Borges, and Garcia.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be Ryan Vogelsong, 8-year veteran, 36 years of age, 6'4", 215-pounder, and 10 starts. This is what he has done. 3-2 with a 3.20 ERA. 46 strikeouts at 56 1/3. And when you take your at-bats against him, you're going to see a fastball that gets moved around a lot. He'll two-seam, he'll four-seam the fastball. It'll be low 90s. And then he'll mix in a slider, curveball, and a cutter, and a changeup. And depending on which one is going good that night, he'll ride that horse. But he is a strike thrower, and he will not normally make many mistakes out over the middle of the strike zone. He will be on the corners all night long. And when that happens, he will have a good night. Lifetime against these Cardinals, 2-5 with a 6.71 ERA. However, here at Busch Stadium, 1-0 with an 0.75 ERA. This is the defense playing behind him. Starting in the Giants outfield from left to right, it'll be Blanco, Pagan, and Pence, the best arm in right field. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side of the infield. Hicks and Morse on the right side. And Hector Sanchez will be in the squad putting down the signs.
Here's Carpenter hitting at 277. And a called strike. Carpenter, a home run, 17 driven in. 2 for 4 lifetime against Vogelsong with a triple.
It's been high. 10-game hit streak.
Colton Wong is on deck, and then Matt Holliday. Cardinals, like the Giants, a good record at home. They're 15-9 at home. They played 3 games against the West, against the D-backs, and they swept the D-backs in that 3-game series. Vogelsong now needs a word with Sanchez. He's saying, would you tell Mike Everett that that last pitch was a strike?
Well, stranger things have happened.
So it's 2-1 to Carpenter. And that's a base hit. And Vogelsong will be in the stretch facing Colton Wong. So Wong, one of the real top prospects in this Cardinal organization, getting his shot right now at the big league level, and he's taking advantage of it. He's got good speed. Carpenter with 1 steal. Crawford and Hicks at double play depth. Sandoval is in at third, thinking that Wong might lay down a bunt. And he attempts at the bunt. He didn't think so, but it's a called strike. And it's no balls and 1 strike. The Cardinals lost last night to the Yankees by a final of 7-4. Here's a fastball high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Vogelsong 2-5 lifetime against the Cardinals.
A lot of that happened when he was a young pitcher, and he really was nowhere near the pitcher that he is now. Since he's come back to the big leagues, he's pitched well against the Cardinals. Certainly did in the playoffs in 2012. So he's comfortable in this environment, likes this field, likes this mound. And talking with a lot of the Giants players, and they like this ballpark. This is a good place to play.
Swing, ain't gonna miss. 1-2.
Nice little cutter. There is a period in every pitcher's game where he's a little vulnerable because he doesn't really know what's working yet. We always talk about what you have in the bullpen is very seldom what you wind up with when you walk between the lines and you start the game on the mound, and it actually counts. So there's 8 to 10 pitches where you're finding out what's working, what isn't working.
Got him.
Outside paint. See you later. Time now for our forward right choice. We talked about Ryan Vogelsong, who likes to pitch here. 7 innings of great work in Game 6 of the 2012 NLCS. He would go on to beat the Cardinals, had 9 strikeouts, and in that game he would also score a run, and he had an RBI. And that's our forward right choice.
And then the Game 7 ended up being a laugher. Who'd have thought? Here's Holiday hitting .280, 3 home runs, 28 driven in. He is 2 for 8 lifetime against Vogelsong. And this is foul back. Now, the numbers that we give you lifetime do not include postseason, which we all feel is quite ridiculous. So all these numbers are regular season. Carpenter leaning. He does not go. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. Now Holiday didn't think so. And it's 0-2.
It's right there. get used to it. I mean, you're going to get those corner calls with Everett, and you're not going to get him at the belt, but you'll get him at the knees. He's a good low ball umpire. So you can set your catcher wide, and if you hit him between the knees and he doesn't move that glove with Everett, good chance you're going to get that pitch. That's why for a guy like Vogelsong, when he's right and he can hit that glove, it's a good umpire for him. And he also leads the league in meetings with his catcher.
Well, with Hector Sanchez.
I think he put down the signs in Spanish.
Yeah, I'd like to see what those look like. Holiday cannot hold up. He's retired. 2 strikeouts for Vogelsong.
He was diving out looking for a breaking ball, and that fastball up surprised him. And the big fellows will do that. They'll guess with 2 strikes. You get pitched one way so often with breaking balls when a hit pitcher gets ahead on the outside part of the plate, especially from right-handers. You'll dive out there looking for him. So a nice change of pace there with the high fastball from Vogelsong, and he gets the strikeout.
Here's Alan Craig, who's hitting .249, 5 home runs, 27 runs batted in. And a call strike, and it's 0-1. The upside for Carpenter, the Cardinals leadoff hitter, is he's a terrific hitter, and he's got pretty good on base percentage. But the downside is he's not a base stealer. And that doesn't mean he may not go right here. He does not. And this is driven foul and out of play to the opposite way, and it's 0-2. That's a base stealer.
Lou Brock, yes, he was. Smart player. And 100% Hall of Famer.
Vogelsong gets the sign from Sanchez, and this is out of play again. Talked about the Cardinals and their record. The Giants 34-19. That's the best record in the major leagues. They're coming off a 5-1 homestand. They're 15-10 on the road, and they're 3-3 against the National League Central. They lost the series in Pittsburgh. They won the series against the Cubs. The pitch. Up and in, and it's 1-2. Whether it was designed or not, it'll keep that hitter from leaning out over the plate.
And a lot of these Cardinals the same way that we mentioned with Matt Holliday. They'll dive out looking for breaking balls. I mean, that thing wasn't that far in, but the way that Craig was moving towards the outside corner, he almost walked into it. Craig from Temecula, California, went to Cal. A lot of friends in the Bay Area.
And a curveball hit right past Jose Kendall, at what time was public enemy #1. But everybody softened on Jose.
Yeah, he was the guy that had the big 3-run homer in the '87 playoffs between the Giants and the Cardinals. It broke everybody's heart. But he really
well, it wasn't that he hit the home run. It was just that he was not a home run hitter.
No. But he is one of the nicest guys in baseball.
Oh, he's fantastic. And a check on Carpenter. 1 steal for Carpenter. That's it. Pagan a couple of steps towards right center field. Sanchez set up off the plate, and another foul out of play.
Vogelsong will work at a quicker pace when nobody's on base. When he gets runners on, he will slow things down.
So this Busch Stadium crowd now getting into it. It's 1-2 to Allen Craig, with Carpenter at first, Morris holding him close. He goes. It's low. Sanchez throw is late. Second steal of the year for Carpenter.
Take a look at the jump. Not a real fast runner, but he did have a good jump. That was a nice read. Really, most base stealers steal it off the pitcher. But what that does with him at second base is that allows Vogelsong to pitch the remainder of this at bat on a corner. If he walks a big deal. Two outs, runner on first base. You never really think you have two open bases facing a middle of the order guy, but with a runner at second and an open first base, you do. So you're a lot less likely to give something good to hit in this scenario than you were with a runner at first.
Well, I think that was the shot he wanted to take with the inside fastball. It's now 3-2.
Well, I think inside's there. We know that Craig's a middle away guy. He's got a nice approach to the outer half of the plate. He covers a lot of ballpark. He'll hit the ball from line to line. I mean, he's a good hitter. You can get a middle in.
Right field. Pence on the move. And it's a fair ball, and it's a ground rule double. And it's 1-0 Cardinals. Yeah, he was pretty intent on going the other way.
I think that's really what is his biggest asset as a hitter. Is it, you know, he's not stubborn. He'll take what you give him. They set up an inside corner. This thing goes across the plate. You see Sanchez reach across his body. And we talk about the strength of Craig. It's middle away. And goes right down the right field line. That's a nice 2-strike, 2-out at bat. But just like that, the Cardinals draw first blood. That was a 9-pitch at bat.
Sandoval's got it. He'll throw, and Molina's retired, and that'll end the inning. A run on 2 hits, 1 left. Second inning coming up. 1-0 Cardinals. And it's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Tim Lincecum threw 5 innings without allowing a hit. before being pulled in the game yesterday. And the last Giants pitcher pulled after throwing at least 5 no-hit innings was my partner on May 12, 1983 in Cincinnati. Way to go. Congratulations.
Well, I just got off the disabled list, so there was a pitch count on me. I don't even know what it was, but Frank Robinson said, "You're done." And as you know, you didn't argue with Frank Robinson.
Morris hitting .285. He hits a high drive to left. This baby is way back. Out of here. And on one swing, this game is tied.
Now the Giants fans in attendance know the celebration back in the Giants dugout when Morris hits a home run. And that is quickly getting very popular, not only in the Bay Area, but for Giants fans across the country. Well, I mean, I think he went up there looking for a slider. And there's the celebration.
Hector Sanchez with a swing and a miss.
Breaking ball down and in at the knees. See ya. Home run number 11.
Sanchez hitting .247, and he hits a line drive that's going to be caught by Wong at second base. 1 out.
One more look. This is the view that we had, and I mean, it was deep into the bleachers. They said it was 442 feet. You don't see many hit up there during batting practice.
I had it around 466.
Really? Yeah. I'm going with you.
Here's Hicks. 184, 8 home runs, 20 driven in. And there's a half swing and a no swing. So it went from a half swing to a no swing. And that's a called strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Crawford to follow, and then Blanco. This is hit high and foul and into the seats. 1 and 2. And tight. 2 and 2.
That's a good pitch. Did not miss by much. Everything from Garcia has movement. I mean, I don't think he can throw the ball straight. Going back inside. That's a cut fastball. That's about as straight as he has right there. And it's an effective pitch when you establish a fastball that runs hard away from the righty. Then you cut that one in the inside corner. It frees a lot of guys.
And a base hit up the middle for Hicks.
Nice 2-strike at bat. Well, Matt Williams is going to lead his Washington Nationals into San Francisco as they make their only visit to AT&T next homestand June 9th through the 12th. And the 9th, 10th, and 11th games all have dynamic deals attached to them, meaning that you can get tickets starting as low as $8. That's right, 8 bungeros. Go to smgiants.com/dynamic deal and check it out.
A couple of lefties coming up. Here's Crawford. Crawford at 247, 6 home runs, 24 runs batted in, and he takes low and away 1-0.
Next hit against the Cardinals. You saw the splits, 317 lifetime batting average.
And a check on Hicks. Hicks does not have a steal. He has been thrown out.
You'll see a lot of throwovers, even with guys who aren't big base stealers like Hicks, simply because Bochy will start runners against the sinker ball lefty Garcia. Anything to stay out of that double play.
He's going to get the call from Everett, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, when it gets down around the base of the strike zone, Everett will definitely err on the side of strike. He's got a good low zone. If you're a pitcher, you love to see that.
Crawford taps this one. Garcia's got it. He'll flip it to first, 2 outs. And on the play, Hicks goes to second. So here's Gregor Blanco. Blanco's going to hit with first base open. And Hicks at second base with Vogelsong on deck.
Now think about this. We've seen a really big improvement in the opposite field approach to left field for Blanco, especially against left-handed hitters. And you've got average speed, perhaps a bit better than average speed at second base with Hicks. But if anything goes to left field because of Matt Holliday's poor arm and a pitcher on deck, you're going to see Flannery challenge Holliday. Matt Holliday, the Cardinals left fielder, does not throw well.
And he is very shallow. Actually, all 3 outfielders are shallow. If Blanco were to hit one fairly solid for a base hit right at one of the outfielders, there could be a close play at home plate.
I think the best arms in right field with John Jay. Anything in the outfield, I think you're going to see Flannery challenge, especially left field.
On the ground and a base hit, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Here's the throw home. It is not in time, and now they got Blanco hung up, and he's going to run down, and it's going to be Peralta to Craig, and Blanco's out, but the Giants take the lead. So Blanco comes up with the big hit, but this one was the big and far hit. And it's bye-bye, baby. Giants lead 2-1.
About his scooter. Said I was running in from the outfield, and Juan Gutierrez had this huge smile on his face. So I got my scooter back. Thank you, fans and media, for helping me to do this. And he really is one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life. And when this whole thing went down, the response it got, it absolutely overwhelmed him. But in the end, he got his scooter back, And it all ended happily ever after. He's a good guy, folks. What you see from Hunter Pence is exactly what you get. 100%.
Here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta at 239. Packs a punch. He's got 9 home runs. He's got 23 driven in.
And I think there's been a bit of an adjustment period for him as he's learning the National League pitchers. But 9 home runs, I mean, that's productivity from the shortstop position.
And he rolls this one foul.
It's kind of like how Bruce Bochy feels about Brandon Hicks with 8 home runs. You can accept the guy hitting 184 if his on-base percentage is 310 and he's running into 8. He's got 20 RBIs. It's kind of what the Cardinals have here with Peralta.
So right now Vogelsong's trying to find the feel of that curveball.
It really is ideal weather conditions. I mean, there's a little humidity in the air, perfect temp. This is baseball weather right here.
Center field, that'll be a base hit. So Vogelsong right back into the stretch. Second inning in a row that leadoff hitter is on. There's Vogelsong looking for that shutdown inning. Here's John Jay. John Jay at 279, a home run, 14 RBIs. Sandoval is in at third.
Jay hits into a lot of double plays. He's tied for the league or the team lead with Alan Craig. He's hit into 7 double plays.
Right over Kirk Reeder's head, and I see that by the glare of his forehead. It's no balls and 1 strike.
Hey, he's getting a bigger glare every year, isn't he?
Woody is here.
There he is.
What do you call him? The son of a what?
Son of a building block. It's Woody. King of the 5-head. He is so much fun to be around, folks. I mean, really one of the all-time great ones to walk through Mike Murphy's clubhouse doors. And I always enjoy to see him.
Hit to left field for Blanco. Peralta goes halfway, 1 out. And that'll bring up Borges. When you watch Kirk Reeder, you think of a lot of different things, including this, his 100th career win.
Now, the winningest left-hander in San Francisco Giants history. As competitive a guy as we've ever seen.
That looks like that was at Shea Stadium.
Yep, move on. Sit down.
The very speedy Borges hitting 210, a home run, 7 driven in. With the pitcher, Jaime Garcia on deck. Giants lead 2-1. On the ground to Sandoval. Sandoval to Hicks. Hicks to Morris. Speedy, or not speedy. Very nicely turned to end the inning. Now it's the official Giants mobile app. It's called At the Ballpark. Is now available, and you can download it for free. This is a must-have app for Giants fans when visiting AT&T Park. It allows you to check in and unlock special offers, find your favorite ballpark foods. You can view highlights and even upgrade your seats. So learn more at sfgiants.com/ballpark app or text ballpark to 31826 to download, and do it now.
Now this is the new addition here in St. Louis. It's the brew house across the street from the bleachers in left field. And this is the inside. There you see that they have rooftop seating, and it is extremely cool.
I think it's called the Ballpark Village.
The Ballpark Village. And it is a happening place.
And it is right in the middle of where the old ballpark used to be. Vogelsong is 3 for 19. Looked like he was taking all the way, and he takes a strike.
Just another home run for this great Cardinal organization.
Garcia is not going to get the call. It's 3-1. So this should be a pretty good pitch for Vogelsong to hit if he does not get the take sign. Down the right field line, foul.
That's good at bat. He's got 6 pitches so far. Definitely seen an improvement in the approach for Vogelsong this year with the bat in his hand.
Absolutely. Got him.
Cipher there.
So here's Pagan. Pagan opened up the game with a ground ball to Peralta. Now lifetime 4 for 13 against Jaime Garcia. And he takes a strike right around the knees, and it's 0-1.
I reach down and see a pitcher take his throwing hand and swipe it in the dirt. I cringe every time I see that.
This is skied into shallow left field for Holiday. And Holiday coming in, and he'll make the catch. 2 outs.
Have a rosin bag out there. It really is what you should be using if you have perspiration in your hand, because you get rosin and you can rub it up, your hand gets sticky and absorbs in your hand. It won't cause a blister. If you go down in the dirt and you touch the mound like Garcia just did again, you can blister up underneath that film of dirt. And he had one time go to that. That's not one time gone to the rosin bag.
Pence takes low. It sounds like you may be speaking from experience.
Absolutely.
Or you may have had to learn the hard way.
Hard way. Missed 2 starts with it. Used to do the same thing. You see the perspiration. It's a really easy night to feel the ball. Perspiration is good when you're looking for a feel of a baseball. And a night like tonight, when you have a lot of humidity and warmth in the field, real easy to feel the ball.
Garcia not giving in on the 2-0 pitch. It's 2-1.
There he goes into the dirt again.
On the ground to the second baseman Wong, although hit sharply. That'll end the inning. It'll be Garcia, Carpenter, and Wong coming up 2-1 Giants. And it's on this date in 2010. Buster Posey was called up from AAA in Fresno, and on that night Buster Posey went 3 for 4 with 3 RBI as the Giants pounded the D-backs by a final of 2-1. And that was just the beginning. Remember, Benji Molina was still the Giants catcher at that time. Right now is back an issue. And the hitter here is Garcia. And Jaime Garcia takes a call strike. He's 2 for 5.
Yeah, he can hit. All right there at the low pace. You'll never see a pitcher argue for a called strike below the knees like that last one was. He'll simply say, yeah, I agree. That's a strike. He wants the same thing.
And there's a good curveball from Vogelsong, so he got the feel of that one.
Yeah, you have to definitely take Garcia. You have to give him respect because he can really swing the bat. You can't take him lightly, is what I was trying to say.
Slowly hit to Hicks. Hicks will wait on it and throw out Garcia.
All right, check out Yahoo Sports Talk Live, presented by Comcast Business Class, hosted by Elmer Kosimor tonight at 9 p.m. Join Elmer as he is, in our opinion, the Bay Area's best sports talk show host, combined with America's #1 sports website. Tonight's guest, Ray Ratto, CSMArea.com senior insider, and I mean senior. John Lund from 95.7 The Game, and Andy Dolan, CSMArea.com sports business insider. All that and more, Yahoo Sports Talk Live.
Here's Carpenter, who singled to open up the bottom of the first inning. And a first pitch strike. On deck is Colton Wong. And that's out of play. Vogelsong may have had Carpenter off balance just a little bit.
Yeah, he backed up that first off-speed pitch with another one. Earlier tonight, Carpenter extended his hitting streak to 11 games. First inning, Ryan Vogelsong lost his consecutive scoreless inning streak. He did it 14 1/3.
Very close. It's 1-2. Got him.
Outside cut, and I mean absolutely perfect location. When Vogelsong is on, but he is mechanically sound, you will watch him throw darts with sink and cut, and he will throw it to a point where the catcher seldom has to move that glove. And with an umpire like Mike Everett, that's what you have to do. He'll go right with you. You can lengthen out the width of your strike zone on both sides.
And a strike call to Colton Wong. Our new segment here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is Mike Krukow rating the umpire's strike 3 call.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
Got a little Robin Hood in him, drawing the big bow back.
Punching the little brother. That was the other day, right?
That's a good one.
2 balls and a strike. Here's one more look.
All right, one more look. Yeah. A little accentuation point there in the end.
Yep. Down the left field line and out of play. It's 2-2.
I love umpires.
Oh my goodness. I think that last move, he learned that from Eddie Montague. Two and two.
Mike Everett.
Got him again. One of our favorites. Here it is. Yes. 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 CSN BA fan photo, name and hometown for a chance to have it shown on an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Jorge Valley of Dublin says, "Go Giants with the family, having fun. Good shot." And here's Pablo Sandoval, 2-1 Giants. And Sandoval takes wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Sandoval pops this one up. Maybe within play. Craig is going to make the catch. Nice play. And that'll bring up Morse.
Well, a lot of room over there behind first base. You see Craig measure out where he's at. Sees the tarp, knows he's got plenty of room. Good pick. Well, time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. Your vote counts. Winner will be revealed during Giants postgame live. Follow the action on the diamond like never before with enhanced Bloomberg stats and more. Giants in-game live on csnbayarea.com. Log on to right now and vote.
Here's Morris. Morris hit a long home run in the second inning. At that point, it tied the game. And his home run is the 11th of the season. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
His last at bat, first pitch he saw, a breaking ball. He hit it 440 feet up in the left center field bleachers. Here he's seen 2 fastballs and he's down the count 0-2.
And he got him. He got him on a pitch down and in. 3 pitches. Third strikeout for Garcia. So round 2 goes to the Cardinal lefty, and that'll bring up Hector Sanchez.
Molina, the catcher, slapping the ground, wanting that 0-2 slider in the dirt. Perfect pitch.
Sanchez takes low and away. He hit a soft line drive to Wong at second base. Garcia has not walked anybody, and he struck out 3. This is pulled past Tim Flannery down to our gloveless ball dude. Really helpless. Now the next guy has got a glove, so maybe he brought one and the other guy didn't.
Yeah, I just can't figure out that system.
High to Sanchez, 2-1. So that's where it ended up, in a good spot. On a play, 2-2 on a high fastball. Sanchez gone, and that'll end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Garcia. The beef coming up. Holiday, Craig, and Molina.
Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Back here in St. Louis, it's 2-1 Giants as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. As you see, just beyond the bleachers out in left field, a couple of young Cardinal fans. Got the ballpark unis on, looking very clean and very cute. Red is the color du jour when you come into Busch Stadium.
Do you think they're sisters?
Yeah.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
So we got some folks that either live here that are Giants fans or have come in from Northern California. It'll be Holiday to lead things off. Holiday struck out in the first inning. His first offering from Vogelsong is down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Holiday, Craig, and then Molina. 2-1 Giants here in the 4th. Good pitch on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just nailing those corner locations all night long.
And Sanchez setting up off the plate again, and it's low and away. 2 balls and a strike.
If you look at the infield, the color of the infield is different than the color of the mound. It's because the composition of the dirt in the mound is much different than that of the dirt in the infield. Much more clay in the mound, and you can say there's a lot of clay around home plate too. But for the most part, dirt very different around the rest of the infield than it is on the mound.
That's going to be a bloop to right for a base hit. Here's our AT&T Uverse Rewind, July 17th, 1984. It was a little gathering between Joaquin Andujar and my partner, Mike Krupko. I was there. I witnessed it. There was a scrum. John McSherry's trying to get in there. Bullpens came in. And the beauty of that is the umpires did not throw anybody out of the game.
They did not. Joaquin Andujar had hit Manny Trillo in the wrist. He had just come off the disabled list. And it was predictable. Andujar always did the first inning. First three guys up, somebody always got one through their helmet or got drilled. So that was retaliation. And they gave me two, and Billy Williams, the plate umpire, so I gave him 2 shots. And then we had a little scrum, and afterwards he says, "Is that it? Are you going to throw at him again?" I said, "No." He says, "Okay, I'll leave you in the game." And he did. We got out of that inning, and we went in the top of the 4th inning, I believe. And we got like 5 or 6 runs off of Andujar.
See, I remember it different. Manny Trillo was the starting second baseman. I was the backup second baseman. And you wanted nothing to happen to Manny Trillo, because if something did happen, I was going in. And that's how I remember it.
Well, since you put it that way.
2-0 to Alan Craig. Big pitch coming up here for Ryan Vogelsong. And now it's 3-0.
But we fought the Cardinals every year. I mean, every year. These two organizations very much alike. Giants with 7 world championships. The Cardinal with 11, more than any other National League team.
Well, that's why 0-2 was so important in postseason for the Giants to beat the Cardinals. There's a strike. It's 3-1.
Well, 1987 hurt when they eliminated us and they went on to play the Twins in the World Series. And it did feel good in 2002 when the Giants beat the Cardinals to go to the World Series against the Angels. I have to admit that it did feel good. They're a great organization.
And Craig bounces this one foul. It's 3-2.
And they have a lot of rich history. Very, very proud franchise. And it shows in this ballpark. I can't even imagine the city of St. Louis without the Cardinals.
No.
This team is this city.
See if Holiday goes 3-2. Vogelsong looking for a double play ball. He got one in the second. Holiday goes. Ball 4.
Vogelsong not happy with that pitch. He's going to take a walk, cool off, get refocused. Really was a pretty easy take for Alan Craig. You can see what Vogelsong was thinking about. Put it down around the knees. Maybe he'll put one to the ground. You can get a double play out of it.
Molina hit a ball to the left of Sandoval, who dove, got up, and threw him out. Now 3 for 15 lifetime against Vogelsong. And now everybody's ready. And it's down low. Molina held up, 1 ball and no strikes.
This is a big pitch. Molina, good low ball hitter, like his brother Benji. He's a middle away guy. And he's got gap to gap approach with power to both sides of the field.
Two and 0. A bloop and a walk. And a 2-0 count now to Yadier Molina.
We saw big time concern on the face of Bruce Bochy. He knows how important this pitch is. Vogelsong has created a lot of hitters counts this inning. This is the wrong part of the lineup to do that to.
3-0.
It's an easy take. Whereas he was throwing darts earlier and hitting that glove in the outside corner, he has lost it momentarily. I don't think for a second that Molina's going to take a 3-0 pitch in this situation. If he gets a fastball middle away and he's looking at that pitch, that location, he's going to get after it. Going to bring Dave Righetti out. And Righetti's going to ask a few questions here. First question is going to be, how do you feel? Are you all right? You always wonder as a pitching coach when you go out there and a guy's been throwing darts and hitting strikes all night long, all of a sudden he starts walking guys and he's missing in the same spot. David Huff, Juan Gutierrez heading out to the Giants bullpen. Or is that George Cantos? Anyway, they forgot the key. Little help.
Holiday at third. Craig at second. Molina at first. Peralta with a base hit in the second inning. And it's 0-1.
That was right in the inside corner at the knees where Sanchez put the glove up. So once again, the pep talk from Dave Righetti applied. Vogelsong has slowed it down. That's what he has done with the bases loaded in his career. He's been good.
To Sandoval. They go around the horn. The tying run scores. And it's a 2-2 ball game.
And you're asking, is that a good play to get the double play and allow the run to score? It looked like Sandoval could have come home with it easily and had the force, but never even looked because he knew that he had the double play going the old-fashioned way, 5-4-3. And that's the beauty of having a one-run lead. They'll gladly give up a run to make sure they get the double play. And that is a good play.
No. Here's John Jay, who hit a fly ball to left field in the second.
Now, if that's the 8th inning, it's a different deal. But fourth inning, stay out of the big inning.
It's 2-0. Morges is on deck. Fouled out of play. This is a big out for Vogelsong here. He gets the double play. And on the double play, the tying run scores. Well, if you can get your team into the dugout after the bases are loaded and nobody out by only giving up one run, it's a victory. Two and two.
And you're right. I mean, it's a way of maintaining the momentum in your dugout. In a bases loaded situation, you tie the heart of the lineup. If you could minimize it and allow just the one, and in a way, you kind of win the war there.
It out of play. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. Way outside and high, 3-2.
He almost threw it away and by Sanchez.
Into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Pagan's throw to second is in time. They got him. The lead run comes in on the 2-out base hit by John Jay. And the Cardinals now take the lead. have retaken the lead. It's 3-2. And it'll be Hicks to lead things off. Hicks singled in the second. So the out that Vogelsong needed to get, he could not get. Hicks drives one to center field. And on the track and making the catch is Borges.
Now here's the play at second base that ended it for the Cardinals. A beautiful throw from Angel Pagan, and Brandon Crawford just drops the tag on John Jay. And really an exceptional play from Angel Pagan. And bang, bang, they got him by about the length of a shoe.
So here's Crawford. Crawford is 0 for 1. And he takes a strike with Gregor Blanco to follow. And a breaking ball spins Crawford around. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Meanwhile, back at the brew house across the street, that's a TV and a half right there.
That is a TV and a half. Crawford rolls it foul. It's 1-2. One out. Crawford trying to get on for Blanco and then for Vogelsong. Molina setting up low and away. And Crawford fouls this one down the left field line and out of play. Crawford chases a pitch in the dirt, and Molina will throw him out. 2 outs, 5 strikeouts for Garcia. And here's Blanco. Blanco single in a run in the second. And he bluffs a bunt, and he takes a strike. Off the interstate.
How good does that feel? Batting an even 200 right now, and he's put 100 points on his batting average here the last couple of weeks.
He has.
He was on the bingo card hitting .087.
Look out. And a base hit to right field for Blanco.
That's his big swing of the bat for one reason. It allows Ryan Vogelsong to hit.
That'll free up Pagan to lead off the 6th if Vogelsong does indeed make an out. Vogelsong had a nice at bat, but he ended up striking out looking in the 3rd.
Got 7 pitches out of Jaime Garcia.
And that's dribbled foul. out of play. Blanco a good lead. And an off-speed pitch to end the inning. 6 strikeouts for Garcia. And it'll be Borges to lead things off. It's a 3-2 lead for the Cardinals. Well, the Mets will be in town for their only visit. It'll be Orange Friday on June 6th. You can show your Giants pride by sporting your orange gear. And then it'll be Superhero Night. And the first 7,500 kids 14 and under, they're going to receive a pair of Sergio Romo Superhero socks, courtesy of C's Candies. sfgiants.com/tickets. So here's Borges. He hit into a double play. And is only at bat. And then it'll be Garcia and then Carpenter. And a strike to Borges, and it's 0-1.
I think the Cardinals have done a good job getting that leadoff hitter on. 3 times they've done it out of the first 4 innings. And this is one guy you really have to bear down on because he has got great speed.
Carpenter led off the first with a hit. Peralta led off the second with a hit. Holiday led off the fourth with a hit. And on the ground to Crawford, who's going to charge it. Wise move and a high throw, and safe at first is Borges. So that'll enable Garcia to bunt.
I mean, once he got to the ball, I mean, he didn't really have to hurry it. He got so quickly. And a rare errant throw from Crawford, who usually is extremely accurate in his throwing abilities. But even the 6'5" Michael Morse can't get up high and stay in contact with the bag.
So here's Garcia. And the runner goes, so it's a bunt and run. And Sandoval will take his time. Borges is going to third. And Morris chose not to throw.
Well, watch at the top of your screen. Borges into a pop-up slide, and he was anticipating there might be an opportunity. And boy, he really created 90 feet of bonus by anticipating a possible opportunity, and there he was to cash in on it. And with his speed, I mean, it's unforgiving. If you don't run that play perfectly, he's going to burn you, and that's going to affect how the Giants play the defense now to defend against Carpenter. Pure strikeout situation for Vogelsong.
Giants will pull the infield in, and even at that, they're going to have to be quick if Borges goes on a ground ball.
And they'll also use a safety squeeze with Carpenter too.
And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Carpenter will strike out though for a leadoff hitter. He's got 45 strikeouts, 215 at bats. 46, I beg your pardon. He had another one tonight. Vogelsong got another third on a call strike 3.
Got one, did not get that one. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Vogelsong ready. Carpenter on the ground. Hicks has got it. He will check the runner, and he'll flip to Morris. Nice play.
Well, it really was. And it really wasn't any way that Borges could have played it any differently at third base. I think for a minute there, he thought that ball was going to get caught. And that is what froze him. But a nice dig out of the dirt. The first thing Hicks does is check the runner. Saw he didn't go. And let's watch Borges. It's basically freezing on a line drive. So as good as a strikeout.
So here's Colton Wong. Both times he's struck out looking. And the first pitch is wide, 1-0.
Wong, a product out of the University of Hawaii. Born in Hilo, Hawaii.
Swinging a foul. He has that determined look of a Rafael Furcal.
Yeah, good call. Built just about the same way.
Well, the song rubbing up the baseball. Cardinals right now with a 1-run lead here in the 5th. Outside, 2 balls and a strike.
This is really when you benefit hitting in front of a guy like Matt Holliday who's on deck. Vogelsong knows he cannot walk long. He's got to go after it. Cannot set it up for this guy.
Swinging a foul back, so it's now 2-2. Borges at third, 2 outs. Foul. Vogelsong got in on the hands of Wong. It remains 2-2.
He's pretty quick to that side of the plate, though. Short arm swinger. That's his strength. Vogelsong and Sanchez both, I'm sure, saw that. And I'd be surprised if they go back inside, they'll get close to the strike zone. They may go back foot slider, but I think they're better off trying to cut something on the outside or staying away. And that's where you're mad at yourself as a pitcher, because that's an easy take. You wasted a 2-2 opportunity. That means that this pitch, you really can't think corner. You've got to get it in the strike zone. You've got a challenge here with Holiday on deck.
So Holiday is going to come up.
That's a mistake.
3 walks now for Vogelsong. He's thrown 79 pitches. Holiday blooped a single into right field in the 4th.
This is where Holiday will bushwhack. He'll sit on one side of the plate, one pitch right here, totally guess, and try and knock one out of the park. This is where he really will sit on one thing.
Wong may take off. He's got 7 steals. He's only been caught once. But if he does take off, you better make it with Holiday at the plate. He goes. No throw. Stolen base number 8. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Actually, it's 0-1.
I don't think Vogelsong really cared, because I think with the runners at first and third, he still felt he had an open base to make his pitch to Holiday. And if he walks him here, it isn't the end of the world. What he has to do is make quality pitches, and he knows that.
It'll be Hicks, and that'll end the inning. So Vogelsong pitches out of it. 6th inning coming up, and it'll be Pagan to lead things off.
Test drive the 2014 Outback at your local Subaru retailer or visit Subaru.com to learn more.
Cardinals with a 3-2 lead here in the 6th. Angel Pagan has bounced out and popped out. Here he takes a strike and it's 0-1.
Garcia threw that fastball right in there like he had a 6-run lead.
And that's way outside. Pitch count wise, Garcia's fine. It's 62 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, remember this is just his 3rd start, so I mean they probably will let him go to 100, but I don't think they're going to let him have a long inning, having thrown this many pitches deep in the ball game.
This is hit out to center field for Borges. Pagan's retired.
It just gets down to whether or not the type of pitch he's throwing is a stress pitch or an easy pitch with nobody on out of the windup.
And for the Giants, the only time they've had the leadoff hitter on was Morris hit the home run in the 2nd. So they've really not made Garcia work, with the exception of 1 inning, and that was the 2nd. Pence takes low. Pence is 0 for 2.
So deceptive with the fastball and the changeup arm action. You really can't tell the difference when you're in that batter's box. And off speed really is the key to Garcia. He throws that fastball, the league's hitting 328. Against his off speed, they're hitting 211. So he rides the off speed stud and he nibbles with the fastball. Changeup, slider, really good pitches, and they have been tonight.
And he gets the call at the knees. It's 3-1. Foul back, 3-2. So Pence trying to get on for Sandoval, Morris, and Sanchez. Got him.
And a 3-2 changeup. Off-speed pitch for the payoff pitch. 3-2 changeup, and he gets him to chase.
So here's Sandoval, who's 0 for 2.
No Posey in the lineup tonight. Buster Posey with a stiff back. He is available to pitch hit, however.
And the 1-0, and Sandoval takes one just a little bit high. 2 balls and no strikes.
Just a little bit high.
Sandoval drives one. Left center field. Hit very well. It is out of here. And this game is tied. And for Pablo Sandoval, that's his 2nd home run of the year, hitting right-handed. His other home run right-handed was very early in the season at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, that's now 9 straight games with at least 1 RBI. Stay hot, Panda.
Here's Morris, who hit a solo home run in the 2nd.
Raise the boots. They're magical.
Morris taps this one slowly, and it's going to be Carpenter charging and throwing, and that'll end the inning. Sandoval picks up the 5th hit for the Giants, and it leaves the ballpark. And it's bye-bye, baby. It's 3-3.
SFN Insurance Brokers, offering business and personal insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
You see, outside of Busch Stadium, it's a 3-3 ball game. And we come inside, watching Pablo Sandoval. Before the game, the boots.
Yeah, those are Madison Bumgarner size 13. Now, Sandoval wears a size 11. But these have been the lucky boots. And I'm going to go down and steal them and rub them on my head and go to the casino after the game tonight. I'm telling you. That RBI from Pablo extends the streak to 9 games, consecutive games with RBIs. That's the longest in the major leagues this year. Yasiel Puig had the longest at 8.
A strike to Alan Craig, who's been on twice. He scored once. And that's down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Baseball's such a long season that you almost need things like that to break things up. Look, it was, even Bruce Bochy talked about it. It was Aubrey Huff in 2010 with the thong, and giraffes, and speeches by the Reverend Hunter Pence. As this is driven into deep right center field, and it is gone. Just like that, the Cardinals retake the lead.
Best approaches middle away that there is, and he doesn't even think about the pull side of the field. He knows he's got power to the right side, and here with Terry to right center, he puts his team up by 1.
And here's Molina, who takes low. Sixth of the year for Alan Craig. Molina is bounced out and walked. 2 balls and no strikes, and another leadoff hitter on for a short time. Down the right field line, Pence giving chase, And Pence is going to make the catch in foul territory. Nice play, 1 out.
Boy, indeed, that is not an easy play. Considering this is foreign territory, you don't really know the ballpark. You're not that comfortable with it, and you don't have a lot of room between the foul line and the wall. And Hunter Pence going over there, the long reach, gobble it up. Nice play.
Peralta is 1 for 2. And he takes a curveball for a strike. Look out. Pushes Peralta back off the plate. Pagan back. 2 outs. Go back to the NLCS Game 5, the Barry Zito game that the Giants had to win. This was one of the plays behind Barry Zito that Hunter Pence caught. He actually caught it on his wrist.
Barry Zito that night, with the Giants down 3-1 in the series, Game 5, goes into this arena and loads the bases with nobody out. He would get out of it, the Cardinals would not score, and I think he would go on to go 7 in the 3rd innings of scoreless baseball.
In the 1st inning.
First inning, bases loaded, nobody out. He gets out of it.
Remember, he struck out Holiday on a high fastball in that inning. John Jay with an RBI single in the 4th.
These two teams have had amazing history together over the years.
It's going to be a souvenir over by Woody. Woody took a hike.
Well, I know he wouldn't leave the game early.
If there was some type of a bonus to catching foul balls in the stands, he'd have 3 by now.
Well, you're right. He may have gone into the Giants clubhouse and pull out the horseshoe.
Got him, and that'll end the inning. The home run by Ellen Craig gives the Cardinals the lead. It's now 4-3 as we head to the 7th. Song has given up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. Garcia's been good. He's struck out 7. He hasn't walked anybody. Sandoval with a home run to extend his RBI streak to 9 games. And Carpenter now with an 11-game hitting streak. So here in the 7th, it'll be Sanchez, Hicks, and Crawford.
A couple of the faithful checking the scoreboard, getting a little impatient.
And impatient is Hector Sanchez. He's 0 for 2. And that pitch is high, so it's 2-0.
That's the pitch he's having a problem lay off of against Jaime Garcia. Garcia, to his credit, is taking advantage of it against Sanchez all night.
Out of play, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Martinez choked the 2 Cardinals in the bullpen.
On the ground, fouled, so it's now 2-2. So Garcia coming back after falling behind, 2 balls and no strikes.
I mentioned this being the 3rd start for Garcia, so they're still building arm strength, as he missed a good portion of this season with some shoulder problems. So Mike Matheny, I really don't think he's going to let him get in the stretch very long, if at all, the rest of the way.
Hit into center field, but Borges will run it down.
Peter Borges has some of the most incredible range in the National League. I mean, he really can cover some ground. This, he didn't have to go too far. Ball hit on the nose, but he was playing on the right field side of center field, so he had to head back over to his right. Easily done.
So here's Hicks. Hicks has hit the ball hard twice. He's got a single, and then he hit a ball to the warning track in center field in the 5th that was caught. And there's a strike at the knees. Breaks his bat. Carpenter to his left. 2 outs.
A nice play from Carpenter. They had been playing him guard the line of 3rd, so he had to go a long way to his left to gather it up. He doesn't have a great arm. If you're talking about 3rd baseman, I mean, it's below average if you compare it to other guys who play the 3rd sack. But he has got great range, and he showed it there.
I thought he did a great job at second base.
I did too.
And here's an all-star that got moved from 2nd to 3rd to let the kid Wong play. There's a dribbler foul, and that's a risk. Not too many guys that can hit like Carpenter. And he played pretty well defensively at 2nd. Here it's 0-1.
I applaud a guy. Anytime a guy has comfort in a position and he's willing to change because the team needs him to go there, I've always admired that. Yep. Not an easy thing to do. Slight pull defensively, more on the left side of the infield than the right. Pretty straight away defending Crawford in the outfield.
And this is hit on the ground sharply to Peralta, and that'll end the inning. Borges is coming up. It's 4-3 Cardinals. for the Cardinals. Vogelsong goes back out. He's got Borges and then a pinch hitter, and then Matt Carpenter.
Well, it's real simple here now for Ryan Vogelsong. I do not believe that Bruce Bochy will allow him to get back into his stretch again. So as long as he's getting guys out of the windup, he'll stay out there. But if he gets one guy on, I think he's gone.
Borges is 0 for 2. And he takes a strike. He reached on a throwing error by Crawford in the 5th inning. Did not score in that 5th. And he goes around. It's 0-2. Javi Lopez is in the Giants bullpen. And it's high, 1-2. Vogelsong 3 pitches away from 100.
Javier Lopez finishing off his warm-up throws. On a night like tonight, 8 pitches, you get your fastball established. You're good to go.
And a base hit. Six times, 6 out of 7 innings, the leadoff hitter has reached.
Yeah, that's going to be a struggle if that happens. Bochy's leaving Vogelsong in.
Well, the lefties start coming up next.
I don't know if Matheny is going to try and give Borges a chance to steal here, or if he's going to put the punt on with Ellis. It's a tough hitter to face right here because Ellis can do everything. He can hit and run, good back control guy, good bunter, and not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. So Bochy calls a throw over to first base to see if Ellis would tip his hand a little bit. He did not.
And Ellis showed bunt. It's 1 ball and no strikes. He's off to a slow start, hitting 181. Called strike, even though Sanchez couldn't hold it. It's a ball and a strike. Morris holding on Borges. And Vogelsong will check on Borges. He's got 3 steals. He hasn't been caught. So this will be pitch 101 for Vogelsong, and it's bunted, and it's a good bunt. And Hicks got a late break to first, but he gets there in time. And that'll do it for Vogelsong. So Lopez is going to come in when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. We'll be back.
pitcher now for Bruce Bochy, Javier Lopez, 21st time that he has come in. 13 base runners in 10 innings pitched. And he is going to face some left-handers, which is why he is in the ball game. Lefty's hitting 174 against him, righty's 250. A fastball, slider, and a curveball. And the thing that makes him unique is that he will spot that fastball on both sides of the plate. He will pitch in the lefties.
So Carpenter will hit. He's 1 for 3 in the game. He's 2 for 2 lifetime against Lopez. And the other thing the Giants will have to do is keep an eye on Borges at second base, so he doesn't have any thoughts about taking third. Lopez will spin around.
Just a way to let Borges know you know he's out there. With the left-handed hitting Carpenter up there, they've got Crawford playing pretty close to second base, so Borges shouldn't get too big of a lead here.
On the ground to Morris. Borges will go to third. So Carpenter's retired on 1 pitch.
That ball came up on him too.
So here's Wong. Wong is 0 for 2 with a walk. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
87 mile an hour paint right there. Talked about Lopez will pitch inside. I do think that is the strength of Colton Wong. I think he handles that side of the plate very well.
Nice play by Hector Sanchez. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, almost clipped the back leg of Wong. Tweaked his leg or something. This walk out to see Javier Lopez is maybe more for him to gather a little feel back at his foot than to have a conversation. Watch the right leg. See if he did something. He got a little hyperextended there with his right leg. He may have tweaked a knee. So that trip out to the mound was just so Hector Sanchez could take a little inventory. That did not feel good.
Swing. And a miss. 1-2.
Change up, took a little off. Nice pitch. So he's got to a 1-2 count. He really hasn't shown him that sweeping breaking ball. He's got 2 ways that he can get it with breaking balls: a curve and a slider. He can go wider the lower he goes with his arm angle.
And another nice play by Hector Sanchez.
That's one of the best plays of the night. But you know it's going to be a breaking ball. You know it's going to come to you. And because of his speed, you do have a chance to slide way out. And he needed every bit of those to get that ball blocked.
Popped him up. Crawford or Hicks. Crawford will put it away to end the inning. No runs, a hit, one left through 7. Cardinals 4, Giants 3. A couple of Giants. It's 2 tickets to Giants games plus an orange and black necktie, and the gift pack starts as low as $39. You get tickets to the necktie giveaway on June 15th, and then the other ball game is July 12th, which is the 25th anniversary tribute to Dave Draveki's comeback. Visit sfgiants.com/minipex and check out those 2 ball games. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Carlos Martinez, a new pitcher now for St. Louis, and if you like fastballs, you've come to the right place. This guy has got a cannon for an arm. 21 strikeouts against 10 walks and 27 1/3.
And a bunt, and it's foul. It's hard to deaden the bunt off of this guy.
Well, you're right. I mean, and he's basically a 3-pitch guy: a fastball, slider, changeup, and he didn't throw many changeups. I mean, when in doubt, he thinks dead red, and he'll come at you. And you'll see high 90s, and occasionally you'll see him hit 100.
Tyler Colvin on deck, and then Pagan.
Martinez, not a big guy, built more like a middle infielder than a pitcher. 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. Dominican, 22 years old.
And on the ground sharply, and Wong went the other way. Try to figure that one out.
Well, he may have been cheating with the breaking ball. And he was cheating. Watch, he's leaking over there, and it burns him. What should have been a pretty easy play had he have held his ground winds up being the 3rd hit of the night for Blanco.
Here's Colvin. Colvin hitting .295. Hits the fastball pretty well. Very close.
That's a good move.
And if you're Gregor Blanco, just a little advice: don't get picked off.
If you do, you're going to have to sit in the Cardinals dugout. He wants to go. If you're taking on Yadier Molina, you better get a good jump off the pitcher. Martinez is not that quick out of the stretch to home. He's quicker to first than he is to home.
I tell you what, Mike, if you're watching Blanco, you would certainly think that he is thinking about going.
Oh, no doubt. And Martinez is a tough guy to hit and run on, so it's going to be a straight steal if he goes.
Blanco now asks for time.
And Molina very quick out of the squat. He's got a very accurate cannon for an arm.
And a called strike, and Blanco looked like he started to go but put on the brakes. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
Good healthy fastball right there.
Popped him up.
That was 98 miles per hour. And he jammed it with it. So a wasted out. And then the Giants could not move up 90 feet. Trevor Rosenthal. The Cardinal bullpen has got some serious fastballs coming at him.
Pagan looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. Not in time.
It's getting closer and closer. I mean, he's throwing strikes over there to Craig. I mean, this one is ball and dirt, but still an easy ball to catch and put a tag on. And that was close.
And a strike.
That's a rough strike right there. That's a perfect location.
Blanco with his lead. He does not go. That's foul back. It's 0-2. Well, tune in to Murph and Mac, the morning show on KMBR tomorrow morning. Mike will talk about the game with Murph and Mac on KMBR 680, the sports leader. So a quick 0-2 to Angel Pagan. Pagan, or make that Blanco goes, and he's going to steal it.
That's a huge play from Blanco, who's had a great night.
That's 6 steals on the year now for Blanco.
See, with a good fastball, Yadier Molina was cheating. He was sitting way outside. That's the easiest pitch to throw off, especially when a guy's throwing 98. And despite all that, Blanco picked him clean.
is blocked by Molina. It's 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. Tying run at second base. And that's tap foul. So at least Pagan is getting a chance to see some pitches.
Yeah, and he's not putting a whole lot of swing in. He knows with a guy like Martinez, you don't have to overswing. He's going to supply the power. Just be quick to the ball. Now, you've got great speed at second base with Blanco. You have a poor arm in left field. You got average arm in center and a pretty good arm in right with Jay. So I mean, you don't have to overswing here if you're Pagan, and he's not.
And he shoots it up the middle for a base hit. Pagan got a late jump and holding up at third, or make that Blanco. And now the ball gets by, and he will score. And this game is tied. Blanco did not get a very good jump, thus he was held up. And then the ball got by everybody.
I think he thought it was going to get caught by the pitcher, is why he had a little bit of a hesitation there. But here's where the Giants catch a break. Ball gets past Craig, and as he gets a piece of it, it hops over the glove of Molina. And not only do the Giants get the tie and run in, but they get Pagan at second base and score in position. But what a great at bat with Angel Pagan. Held up here, and as the throw comes into home, he sees it dipped by Molina, and off he's going to the races. And we got a great new ball game.
And this is dribbled back to the pitcher, and he looked at third, and he almost threw wildly past Craig. Pagan goes to third. So Pence is thrown out. Here's Sandoval. So the Giants have tied it up here in the 8th inning. Nice at bat from Angel Pagan. Like, I think it was the pitcher that screwed this whole thing up.
It was. It wasn't Craig. It was Martinez who was standing out in front of Molina. Why he was there, I have no idea. He should have been behind Molina, the catcher.
I mean, Craig was in front of the mound. You see him get there late.
And that is, it's Martinez. He hopped right over Molina, and he had no chance at it.
Morse is going to be up with runners at first and third after Sandoval takes the walk.
That's how hot Sandoval is. That's the ultimate respect from Mike Matheny, the Cardinal skipper. And if you're Michael Morse, that ought to have ticked you off.
And it looks like we're going to get a new pitcher and a new second baseman. So Mike Matheny goes out talking to Mike Everett. When it's time for a change, things Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts. We'll be back.
A collector's edition courageous catcher man bobblehead inspired by the genius behind the Marvel Empire, Stan Lee, and a game ticket to see your Giants take on the New York Mets. Make sure to arrive early, as Stan Lee, the creative genius behind Marvel Comics, will be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. To receive the courageous catcher man bobblehead, you need to purchase a special event ticket. Go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Rosenthal to face Morris in a tie ball game with the lead run at third in the person of Angel Pagan.
There you see the numbers for Rosenthal, another guy who has a great fastball. Only 18 hits allowed, 25 innings. He will get a wild hair up his nose. High 90s fastball, 2s, 4s.
Look out. It's in front of that Cardinal dugout. Chris Maloney. Because he's around our age, I will not say it.
I appreciate that.
0-1 to Morris, who homered in the second. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Pagan's going to score, and it gets by the center fielder, Borges, and coming in to score is the Panda. How about that?
Well, what have the Giants done so well all year long? They have hit with 2 outs, and Michael Morse is putting on a clinic in that regard. And that's his 36th and 37th RBI. He's set up on the outside part of the plate in an 0-1 count. And he gets a good pitch as it's coming back, good pitch to hit as it comes back into the middle of the diamond, but he doesn't try to do much with it. He goes the opposite way, splits the gap, gets it past Borges, and it allows the Panda to have a very entertaining route from first to home.
Come on, Panda, you can do it. A little encouragement from Tim Flannery with his butt on the line, and he scored.
It never gets old.
Here he goes. Come on, come on.
Tim Flannery hopping on the Panda for another run.
Hector Sanchez. This is when he's been at his best with a runner in scoring position, but right now he's behind in the count, 0-2. So all of a sudden what's going on in the Giants bullpen got a little bit more serious.
Machi is ready.
And that'll do it. Giants scored 3 times here in the 8th inning. Big hits. 3 of them. It's 6-4 Giants.
He took the challenge, didn't he?
He did. Matching up, one of the great pitching matchups of the day. It'll be Madison Bumgarner against Adam Wainwright. Pre-game live will start at 4:30. Then we'll have the game for you right at the top of the hour around 5. And you can see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. The home of your San Francisco Giants is Comcast Sportsnet. So the big hit, a couple of big hits, Pagan and Morris. It's 6-4 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. There's the numbers for Gene Machi. He's perfect, 5-0, and check out the ERA. 6 walks, 22 strikeouts, and he's done that in 26 innings. And he'll be facing the Beef, Holiday, Craig, and Molina. Vogelsong started. He gave way to Lopez, and now Machi. Holiday is 1 for 3. And the first pitch from Machi is hit down the right field line and out of play. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball to Holiday.
And that's kind of a compliment to Gene Machi, who has quickly established himself around the National League this year. His forkball is the talk of the town, and I think a lot of teams feel that in order to get to this guy, you want to get him early. You don't want to get into a 2-strike situation because of that fork. It's that good.
Swing and a miss, nothing in 2.
And that's an 0-2 with a fastball and a slider. And that causes Matt Holiday to take a walk. Now, if you're throwing the forkball here, put it in the dirt.
Slowly hit. Machi off the mound quickly, and a nice play. He can move like a cat.
Well, he really can. You know, you look at his body, you don't think he's the guy who's going to be quick, but au contraire, he's one of the quickest guys off the mound, and he had to be quick. Good footwork, didn't even have a chance to take a stride, so he gets the ball barehanded and throws flat-footed, and that's how he had to get Holiday, who runs well for a big man. Grab some pine.
And here's Alan Craig, who's perfect tonight, a double, a home run, and a walk. With Yadier Molina to follow. And it's low, 1 ball and no strikes. Giants with 3 in the 8th inning to retake the lead. And a strike to Craig to even the count. Outside and low. Not even close. It's 3-1.
Easy take there. I mean, this is where you have to take advantage of that 2-run lead. You do not want to create opportunity and allowing the tying run to come to the plate by walking Alan Craig to set that up. So this should just be a pretty much straight challenge. Jimmy Outfeld is ready. He's thinking about John Jay.
On a play, 3-2.
A lot of fastballs and sliders. We have not seen forkball in this at bat.
So Craig waiting patiently on Machi. Now everybody's ready. Should be in the strike zone somewhere. Got him.
Oh, great pitch. Inside, it locked him up. We talked about how this guy looks away. And he was leaning. You talk about nailing the inside location at the knees. And you talk about locking up a big league hitter. Bang. Reps a pine beat. Great pitch.
Here's Yadier Molina. First pitch a bit high, maybe in tight. 1 ball and no strike.
There has to be a reason he's not throwing forks tonight. Good fastball and slider.
Strike. Molina taken all the way.
Just a BP fastball.
And a breaking ball to make it 2-1.
It's been fastballs and sliders. We have not seen the fork. That's the 2-pitch combination that he spent a lot of time in the minor leagues with. He sets that fork in his hand prior to every pitch.
And it's 3-1. He went 3-1 to Alan Craig, and now 3-1 to Yadier Molina. Right back to where it came from, and that will end the inning. We'll go to the 9th. It'll be Hicks to lead things off. Giants up by 2.
Time now for our Honda player of the game, but we think Michael Morris is that guy tonight. Second inning, first pitch, home run, number 11 on the year. That's how his night started. And then he comes up with a huge opposite field double in the eighth. Didn't he knock in two and give the Giants a 2-run lead? For those efforts, we think he's worthy of being our Honda player of the game. Michael Morse, job well done.
(6-4) Giants, and the new pitcher is Sam Freeman, a lefty.
It's the third time he has been in a ball game, and he's got a good fastball. What's new? It goes mid-90s, but with pretty good sink. And from a left-hander perspective, you don't see a lot of it. He's got a curveball and a changeup. He'll throw everything he has.
Hicks swings through a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Hicks with a base hit in the second. Hit a ball to the wall in center field in the fifth that was caught. Then he bounced out to third. And it's down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1.
The changeup.
They all throw changeups. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I mean, this generation, more than any generation in baseball history, throws more changeups.
And inside corner, it's 3 and 2.
Oh, man, that's a rough 2-strike or 2-pitch sequence. A little changeup in the outside corner, you get a 3-1, then all of a sudden, bang, 95 inside corner. Nasty.
Hicks takes the walk.
Ooh. That was close.
I'm swinging. Here's Crawford. Crawford 0 for 3. Crawford always manages in games like this. He'll go into that last at bat without a hit.
Yeah.
And he'll sneak one in there.
That's a good.
It is. It's a good way to sleep better at night.
Good attribute to have as a hitter.
See Sergio Romo getting loose. Hits with his lead. Hicks does not have a steal this year. He has been thrown out 1 time. No balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, if you like fastballs, check out the Cardinal bullpen. Wow. Flame on, flame on, flame on.
And the bunt. It's a good bunt. Freeman gets off though, and he'll flip it to Alan Craig. And we'll go 1-3 on the sacrifice bunt.
Smart play.
And here's the guy that's got 3 hits tonight.
Well, I think his days on the understand are over.
Yeah. Joaquin Arias has come out of the dugout. You know that the thought of wanting to have Buster Posey hit is going through the mind of Bruce Bochy. swing and a miss by Blanco, and it's 0-1.
That's a sneaky 95 if there's such a thing. He is jumping on hitters. They're late on that fastball.
Out of play. It's 0-2.
Sam Freeman, pretty good story. I mean, he was a 32nd round pick.
Come on.
Yeah.
From where?
Played college baseball at University of Kansas. Woody Kirk Reeder, he shows up and good things happen.
Down the left field line. It's going to be a tough play. Holiday can't get to it. There's Woody's record. His record with the Giants.
Well, 105 wins for him make him the winningest left-handed Giant. San Francisco Giant. Which is a pretty cool handle. I mean, that's how he's going to get introduced the rest of his life. Until Madison Bumgarner goes right by him. Which could happen.
Woody looked like he's no Carla, no girls. Maybe he got a pass tonight.
Yeah.
Knowing Carla, she probably said, "Guys, spend the weekend." And the 1-2 is not a pitch at all.
Kirk Reeder lives in Hoyleton, which is about 45 minutes from St. Louis.
And the 1-2, swing and a miss. He got him. And here's Arias. The Giants do not have a museum. Some teams do. If you walk outside of the Reds ballpark, Great American Ballpark, they have a museum, a Reds museum.
Yep.
It's actually the museum that the Giants have is in Hoyleton.
It's at Woody's house?
It's at Woody's shed.
Oh. You've been there.
Well, so have you. He's got more things in there than a lot of organizations have. Here's Arias. Swing and a miss. 0-1. If you're Joaquin Arias and you've been sitting around all day, you better tune it up to this guy. And that's foul. Good idea. And it's 0-2. There's the Cardinals Hall of Fame museum, if you will.
Well, and the Cardinals very much like the Busch Stadium here, very much like AT&T Park. The whole ballpark's a museum.
Slowly hit. Freeman's got it. He will spin, he will throw, and that'll end the inning. So we'll head to the bottom of the ninth inning. Romo will come out. Giants are leading 6-4.
right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Giants Cardinals recap highlights. And then Matt Mayoko will talk about Vernon Davis contract issues. And Dave Feldy. That's right. Dave Feldman, otherwise known as Feldy, one-on-one with Steph Curry. So check it all out tonight. All that more. AT&T Uber Sportsnet Central.
Giants with a 6-4 lead here in the 9th. And Bruce Bochy will bring in his closer, and that, of course, is Sergio Romo.
Take a look at the numbers for Romo in 23 games, 3-1 with a 3.27 ERA. He's got 16 saves coming into this save opportunity. 18 strikeouts against 4 walks. And this is a big test for Romo because he has really had some problems with the consistency of his slider the last couple of outings. I mean, he's gotten the job done for the most part, but it has not been the usual automatic no-dodge slider command that we've seen him have. Joaquin Arias stays in the game. He's at third base.
And it'll be Peralta to lead things off. Peralta is 1 for 3. And the first pitch is a breaking ball. This one started out at Peralta, and it's a called strike.
Starts it off inside, throws him, and takes the inside corner out. Umpires love that when catchers don't catch a strike. They need it.
One ball and 1 strike. John Jay, a left-handed hitter on deck. On a play, a fastball. It's 1-2. Got him. One down in the 9th. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Now let's take a look at perfection. A 1-2 advantage. Late, quick, perfect location. See ya.
Here's John Jay. He's had 1 hit in 3 at-bats against Romo. That's during the regular season. Tonight he's 1 for 3. And he's going to shoot one up the middle, and it's off the glove of Crawford as it caroms out to Pagan, and that's a 1-out single, and the hitter will be Borges. Borges with a base hit in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. Banged into a double play in the 2nd inning. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
That inside corner out a lot with that slider.
So Jay with his lead, he's got a couple of steals on the year. And this is popped up. It'll be Crawford. 2 outs. And here's Descalzo.
Descalzo, a Bay Area native. I don't think he's ever had a bad at bat against the Giants.
He's 0 for 1 in his career against Romo. Giants will play behind Jay at first, so he may take off. He does not, and the first pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Low again, 2-0. Scalzo fouls it back. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Angel Pagan having a constant dialogue with the left center field bleachers.
Jay will go, and this is wide. It's 3-1. Scalzo has got enough pop to knock one out, so you still have to be careful here. 3-1. And he fouls it out of play. It's 3-2.
It has to go 3-2, doesn't it? This is
it does.
Cardinals Giants. It's never easy here.
Sanchez set up away. And another foul out of play.
Putting up a fight, as he always does. Kind of a bat that makes a manager pace.
The walk. So here's Carpenter, and now if you're in the outfield, you back up a little bit. Keep the ball from getting by you in the gaps.
Doubles defense.
One ball and no strikes.
Nibbling with that fastball. And to the Cardinals' credit, they have not gone out of the strike zone and chased. They've made Romo come to them.
2-0.
Pretty straight away in the outfield and deep. Respectful of a possible double. Excellent speed on the base pass for the Cardinals.
And a strike to make it 2-1.
Romo very deliberate, taking his time.
2-2.
Talked about Carpenter. I mean, he will strike out. He has struck out 46 times on the year. That's a lot for a leadoff hitter. That's going to start the runners. That's a big advantage.
Well, he's got a base to play with. Ideally, you don't want to walk that tying run into scoring position, but you still have to be careful with the hitter Carpenter. Runners go. Base hit. The tying run will be at third as Carpenter comes up with the hit.
So he comes into the strike zone in a 3-2 pitch with a slider. And what an at-bat put on by Matt Carpenter. A little hanger on the outside corner at the belt, just a flick of the wrist, and he delivers and keeps it alive for St. Louis. But the tie-in run 90 feet away now.
And the hitter will be Shane Robinson. Robinson, according to our notes during the regular season, has never faced Romo before. He's 5 for 32 on the season. And now Hector Sanchez has to be extremely good behind the dish with the tying run at third. So here's Robinson. 1 ball and no strikes.
And he threw him a strikeout first right out of bed. Strikeout slider. That's the one you want to save 0-2 if you can, but Robinson just spit on it.
And a strike to even the count.
I think he was taking the strike all the way. Just to get a look. Well, now he's seen 2 pitches, 2 sliders. And one of the advantages of the no-doubt slider that Romo has is its deception. The more you see it, however, the more you acclimate to it, and the better chance you have if you're the hitter.
Two and one. If you're thinking about the Giants bullpen, don't. Except maybe now as I see somebody running to the phone. It's 2 balls and a strike. A determined Romo looking in. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
That's a perfect pitch right there. I mean, that's the Romo slider that we've all grown to love right there. But it has been temperamental of late, as sliders can be. There's Cacos up for a second time.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Romo. Popped him up. Arias at third, and that's the ball game. Nothing to it.
Just another laugher.
The Cardinals leave the tying run at third, and the winning run at first is Robinson pops out, and the Giants open up this tough 4-game series with a win tonight.
Well, it was a gut check in a lot of different ways, but how about the Giants coming back? And in this ballpark, that is not an easy thing to do. Michael Morse was a difference maker with the bat, but just a lot of good baseball tonight, and that's exactly what we've come to expect when these two teams meet.
So both starters end up with a no decision, and it's up to the bullpen, and the Giants prevail tonight. The final score